What is going on, guys? My name is Tubby. So in WWE 2K17, this is one of the things that got added. Now, this is 2K16 gameplay, but since I came from the playtest and I wasn't able to capture anything, I want to talk about it. So at this menu in the new game, there's commentary, which, to be honest with you, feels pretty good. Now, we didn't get to hear much of the commentary other than a couple matches, but it was informative and it was a new addition to the game that wasn't in previous versions. Now, to me, that's a little thing. And to other people, that may be a little thing, when you expect big modes such as GM mode from the past. Now, hey, as a content creator, GM mode is one of my favorite game modes. It was one of my most popular series on YouTube. But with universe mode, there are some things you can do which kind of make it like GM mode. And a combination of the two wouldn't be so bad. Now, what I wanted to talk about in 2K17 is the limited playtest we got. Now, I've already made impressions videos. If you guys want to go watch those, you can. I talked about the one-on-ones, the backstage fight that we had, a triple threat, and a fatal four-way ladder match. Now, some other small things that people are asking me about. I will say this. If you are an AJ Styles fan, you may notice his entrance is a little different than what he does on TV. Now, some people, and I'm not going to name names when we're at the playtest, said he doesn't do the arm moving and the jiving like he normally does on TV. To me, I overlooked that because I thought AJ played very well. Now, his phenomenal forearm is in the game. And some of the other press that was there were wondering, well, how did you do the phenomenal forearm? Where is it in the ring? Was it a signature? Was it a finisher? Well, the phenomenal forearm was a finisher, and you just have to be on the outside. Now, I don't know if there's some sweet animation that kind of sets it up where you can hit a signature, the guy rolls around, and then you go to the outside directly to it, but I did do it just standing on the outside. Now, the move does feel like one of the moves that were previously in game with a forearm. I don't know if it's necessarily new to AJ Styles or if they just added it. Now, to me, again, I didn't really notice anything too wrong with it. I would have loved for him to hype up a little bit more and then really get the body movement in air, but it wasn't bad. Now, a lot of people have been asking about other game modes. Hey, was this in the game or was that in the game? Well, unfortunately, we only got a limited experience. Like I said, one-on-one, backstage, triple threats, and fatal four-way ladder matches. So if you have any questions about those matches and what I got to do, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Now, one of the biggest questions I got was, Tubby, can you fight in the crowd, and where can you actually fight in the crowd? Well, you can fight in the crowd. And you may be wondering, Tubby, why do you sound different? Not necessarily sounding different. I don't know if I'm sick or if at 25 I finally hit puberty. But my voice has kind of changed after this trip. Maybe it was all the vodka Red Bulls. I don't know. But when you fight in the crowd, you essentially have one area to fight. Now, to some people, that may be a problem. To some people, that doesn't seem like very much. But to me, I feel like it's perfectly fine. I wish there would be more to do, like in past games, like SVR 2007 and 8, where if you fought in the crowd, there was electronics to throw you into. There was a little bit more to do. Now, how do you get there? Well, in a one-on-one match, and we tried it with a triple threat and I couldn't do it. I don't have clarification for exactly which matches it works in, but in the one-on-one that we did, unfortunately we didn't get much time out there because you kept getting counted out because it wasn't an Extreme Rules match. But once you go to the outside, you press L1 to go over the barricade. And once you're out in the barricade, there's a couple different weapons you can use. There is a table out there, there's 2 chairs, there's a water bottle above the garbage cans, and that's about it. It's really just to provide a little bit more realism in fighting in the crowd. Now, it's only on that side. Where they're fighting on screen right now, you can't go there. On the other barricades, you also can't go there. But the animation to jump over the barricade with L1 is pretty sweet. And the animation to throw somebody, strong Irish whip, like it's my yard projected, is in the game. So you strong Irish whip your opponent and he goes over. Now, if we have a true highlight reel and a creator, kind of like in GTA 5, this could make some epic and awesome moments. So some of your favorite creators, like Element Games, for example, would create some awesome content. Now, this is what I've always wanted. You know, I like 2K14 Story Creator, but you know we were limited on the scenes we could do. I've always wanted to make movies, and I've always wanted to be a film director. So if we get those things in the game, a sweet ladder match spot going back and forth with oohs and ahs would be pretty awesome. Now, other things that were in the game, people ask me about Backstage Fighting. Now, in Backstage Fighting, there's only 2 rooms we were able to go in. You have the locker room, and you have Triple H's office, which the door, by the way, is still spelled wrong, but they'll fix it probably before the game comes out. Now, in those 2 areas, now we didn't get a transition between them. Now, we heard you could, and in any game type, which would be awesome. I would love to be able to go backstage. But the one thing that I noticed the biggest about going backstage is there may not be tons to do and it may seem like a little addition, but it's kind of a big one. Because again, if you can use highlight reel and everything, it would be pretty awesome. Now, there's rumors about it only being the last minute of a match, but if you think about it and you KO somebody, you can walk down the hallway, set up your camera, KO somebody to end the match, and still film something. To me, that would be kind of cool. It's a lot more work, and it's not as easy as I would like it to be, but there's options. When you're fighting backstage, you can go in those 2 rooms. You have to make sure you aim them just right, and once you throw one into the room, it goes to split screen. Split screen was a great addition in this year's game. Now, we didn't get it in triple threat, which I think it would be kind of hard to do 3 cameras on screen, but in single player, when you throw somebody through a door, they go on one screen and you're still on the other, so it makes it easier to work with. Now, one of the things that I noticed the most was there was an oh my god moment in the back on the Triple H's desk. You would DDT him on the desk, Triple H would be standing back there, and you would take him out. Now, in the gameplay video, they showed when you went into his office that Triple H confronted him. Now, in the video that we played, or the game we played, we didn't get a Triple H confrontation. We didn't get him walking up to us. He just stayed behind his desk. Now, the first thing I noticed was oh my god moments was no longer a triangle. I was sitting there trying to press triangle along with being in the locker room against the TV and wondered, why can't I get it? Well, because oh my god moments have been changed to use an R1 in triangle. Now, this is a huge addition because as somebody who's played so many simulation matches in WWE 2K16 that you're never going to see on my channel, unfortunately, I've recorded many matches. In July alone, I played 125 matches that I tweeted out a screenshot, and I only uploaded 7 videos that month because I do love simulation gameplay and recreating what's on WWE TV. And there was nothing more frustrating when you had an epic match going and you were looking for a corner finisher, but instead hitting that big boot with Sami Zayn, if you didn't want a big running one, you would do a suplex to the outside, which kind of sucked. Now we have more options. Now, other things. Switching between signature and finisher, and targeting is a big deal in this game. You really do need a target. Because, let's be honest, you're not just warping to the nearest person anymore, you can actually look at somebody. And that was in previous games, but I definitely noticed a heck of a lot more in this year's version because there wasn't as much warping. Now again, the game that we played is always a build that's, done specifically for these events, and they don't represent the final quality. Now, 2K isn't telling me to say that, but as somebody who's gone out to the last 3 playtests or, media events, I definitely do feel a difference in the game. At 2K14, we got to play the ladder match with Shawn Michaels. In 2K15, when we went out, similar thing, we got the matches, but we weren't able to record. This year, we were able to tell you guys everything for the time it happened. Other things that are kind of notable to me that really stood out were some of the transitions. The match transitions and play between them. Between a roll-up, between a kick-out, or other things that happen, you definitely stayed down longer. Now, while everybody else was playing, I was trying to look over all the big things that I wanted to see. How long does a ref stay down? How long does your opponent stay down if you break up an account? This year, when you break up a count, the animation is still there, where you kind of jump in the air and break it out. I waited on the outside in a triple threat match where he had rolled out of the ring, and I wanted to see how long it would take if I come in, bust it up, if the other person could do a move to me, and he could still pin me or the other guy. Now, in my case, it was Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, and AJ Styles. I ran in and broke up Kevin Owens' powerbomb on his pin on Finn Balor at 2, and he stayed down long enough to where Kevin Owens looks at me, pop-up powerbombs me, and pins me. And before that 3 count ever happened, look, boom, we had a pop-up powerbomb win for the victory. Now that's kind of big because in past matches when you broke something up, they get it up right away, and it really hurts the realism. The rolling out and breaking out is going to be enjoyed by a lot of people, unless you're one of the people who gets frustrated with simulation-type matches. To me, I love when they roll out of the ring because it's something that's real and realistic. If you want an arcade-style game, well, you're going to have to go pick up All-Stars from the console or go back and play 2K14 because this is not that kind of game. It is a simulation. The one thing I didn't get to do at the playtest was after-match celebrations or beatdowns. Now, it is kind of random, and, from what I was told, it wasn't possibly in every single match, but if you were able to break out after a win and celebrate, it's pretty rad to attack your opponent past match, especially if you can use that in highlight reel and use it to create an entrance or Titantron or something similar. Now, those are just some of the big, quick impressions that I had, and to be honest with you, 2K17 is feeling like an awesome game, and I don't know what other game modes are in. I would love a special guest referee match. I would love many other types. IGN on the official wiki had a 5-on-5 match. I don't know if that's true. Or a 5-man match. Again, I don't know if that's true because we didn't get those modes. If we do go out to 2K and we do get a chance to check the game out a little early, I'll make sure to tell you at that time. And if not, well, when the game comes out, we're going to be covering it in depth. And I will say this, I did like some of the additions. The smaller additions that we got to play when it came to gameplay really furthered it. Again, only if you like simulation matches, because it is, to this date, one of the most realistic games of all time. 2, I will say Shinsuke Nakamura's entrance had me, I loved it. I loved Shinsuke's entrance. We also got to see Finn's entrance without the chainsaw, which as well looked good. AJ's could use a little work, but other than that, 2K17 I'm excited for. So that'll wrap it up. If you have any questions you want me to answer in a future video, let me know in the comment section below.